All right, good morning once again. We're back to continue with our part 9. Part 9, we've seen part 9A, now part 9B. Uh, Folder structure, actually, we're going to take time to look into folder structure in detail. But right now, we're going to look at folder structure in a different view. Well, but the main thing here is I want to start running the application. Running the Spring Boot application. But let's understand some structures on it first. I'm going to close this tab. So please, this is the folder structure we've seen. Come to source and then come to main. All these things are packages. All right, main. Then you come to Java. They are folders, sorry, not packages. These are folders. All these are folders until Java. Java is also a folder, which is the language you're going to be using for development here. And then this is a package, and this is what we call the main package. If you look at it, it says com.cloudsoft.employee. Are we there? So it combines it picks from what we have written during initialization. Can you see something here? com.cloudsoft.what.employee. All right. So then next is a class. If you see this with a C cycle, it tells you it's class. If you see I, it's an interface. That's why I'm so much enjoying utilizing this idea that is intelligent. Yeah, I like it really, even though I'm using the community version. So if you double click here, you're going to see this is your the class that initializes your application. When you want to bootstrap your application, you bootstrap it. It gets bootstrapped from here. So here, if you check, you see this is what we call an annotation, right? At Boost, we're going to study annotation, but please understand that this is what we call an annotation, Spring Boot application. And here it says public class employee application. You know, we name it employee, right? Employee application, right? So employee application, then it says public static void main. So this is your main method, and we all know that Java class start running from where? Java project start running from where? From the main method. Thank you. So whatever you want to do, it starts from here. All right. Unresolved dependencies. Okay, there's some dependencies that were not resolved. Of course, I saw so let me analyze. My network was disconnected and some dependencies were not resolved. So let's analyze. Yeah, where is it? Analyze dependencies. So it will resolve the problem. So it's trying to, if you double click it, it's trying to analyze the dependencies. I hope they are now resolved. Let me see the POM. Okay, some of the dependencies were not really. It is still analyzing, please. So I think we can continue with some things while it is analyzing. Okay, it seems it is done with the analysis, I think. Let me close the POM and see. Okay, it has checked it, but the error message hasn't gone. What I do is let me close this and open it again. So close the project. Sometimes, so this is the project, I click and it will open. Sometimes it does clear when you do that. it's trying to search and right, I think it has analyzed and no problem, right? So this is what I want to see. Now, I want to test the application, but the fact that we have, okay, before testing, come to pom.xml. That is the file that stores all our dependencies. Please, let's analyze all the dependencies we have made use of. Here, the group ID is Spring Boot framework.boot. But the first thing here, we have starter. All right. Next dependency is, okay, the next dependency is JDBC, data JDBC, then JPA, security, validation, web, and then connector.j, Lombok, and these ones are added automatically, like things like Tomcat and the rest. They are added automatically. Okay. So and so we are done. Then the security and all that, and everything is there. Right? I think it has synced everything. So now, to test it, we're going to have a problem here when we try to test because we have already embedded JDBC. Since JDBC is being embedded, it's going to be a problem. So we need to create the path for the JDBC. Then we run. And to do that, come to resources and click on application properties. So this, you see the name of the application here. I've stored an example of application property. I'm going to send this immediately after this class. This is an example, a very good example of application property. We have two ways of writing application properties, either YAML or application properties. So please, you paste it here. Let's understand what is that. Here we try to specify the JDBC, but this database, that's not the one we are going to use. We said that it's localhost we are going to be using and 3306. That is our port number, and this is my developmental password and username on development. But if it is on production, you're going to see a lot of things, hash, underscore, and the rest, because of a very strong password. And this is the JDBC driver. For this, you don't panic. You'll be given the setting. All right. So with time, you understand what it is. Let's just go by this. So, but then the problem is we need to create a database here. Okay, we need to create a database, and then we connect to the database, because the reason why we wanted to connect with JDBC is because we want to be communicating with database. So let's communicate with database. Let's create a database and then we test the application. Had it been nothing like JDBC was being added, then we wouldn't have involved the application property for now. But since it is being added, then we need to do that. Let me just go by this connection. One connection PostgreSQL capital or something. So let me get another. Let me just create a database here. I want to create a database. Can we name it employee? Let's say employee. I don't know whether I have employee. I have a lot of databases. Let me say employee. Employee, say batch A. Employee DB. Batch A 2024. This is just an example. I just cited example here. So when I click on this, it creates it. It says one row affected, and this is the timing within 0.0663 seconds. Then you can now say show databases to confirm that it is created. This is a workbench. Then I will check, do I have employee here? Yes, it is the only one. So I can now make use of it. You all know how to do this, right? You know, we told you nobody should even ask us anything unless if something is not being covered, because we have already dealt with this part. So no table, right? So that means I can go with this database. So in my application property, I will then paste this database. That means I'm connecting to this database. Are we there? Then we run the application. To run the application, one of the ways to run the application is you migrate to the Java, come to the default package, then you come to this name of the package, name of the main method, where main method is written. All right. Then you click on this run button. Yes, enable Lombok, Java notational. All right. All right, started. Let's look at it. This is also Spring Boot. It is reading, right? It is reading. If there is problem, it will compile everything and give you issues. Are we there? All right. If there is no, okay, that's good. Our application runs successfully without any issue, and it says what? Process finished with exit code 0. If there is problem, you see exit code 1, 2. That means you have 2, 3 problems, and but from our own end here, please let's take some scenarios of having probably problems when you run applications like this. So here we have run, and I told you that in our next class you see how to run the application using other ways, not only this way. So the project is here, and then it compiles, and application properties, we have done that. They check for some errors and stack trace. Now, how do we understand that a problem could occur when something is being tempered here? In the application properties here, if I remove this completely, that means I did not mention what? Database. So let's run and see how it's going to look at the application this way, but I have to save it, then clear all these console things, and then run. Let me expand so we see, because we are interested in what is going to take place here. Please look at what is happening. I want you to notice something. Yes, it initialized, things are there, all right. No, like it is not saved, because let me save all, right? It wasn't saved. Oh. Good morning. How are you? Okay, I understood something. Please, I'm sorry. Instead of removing that, please come up with me here. Instead of that, leave it and go and delete it from the database. All right, because it is assuming that there is no database, right? So let's drop it here. Yeah, so let's drop database. I just want us to see how things are really happening. So somebody shouldn't be panicked. Right from onset, being taught how to trace issues, drop database, and drop it. I'm done with this. So let me try to use this database and confirm that it is what? Been dropped. It says what? I'm non-database employee. Good. So let's go and run our application here. We'll run the application. How do you run it? Come to application, the name of the main method, and then do this. Let me quickly clear this. Okay, it clears it itself before running any other thing. So please look up, please. Look up. Yes. Good one. This is what I wanted to see. You know, coders don't like to see code like this. You should learn how to do what we call stack tracing. You should read from the code, understand what happens, you understand. But please, I beg you one thing. I urge you to do one thing. When you have a code, you see it says what? It exits with what? How many code? 1. That means you have one error. Don't start reading the error from the bottom here, because you end up confusing yourself. Because one error could invite other errors. Of course, you have JDBC, you have MySQL, you have whatever. You understand? So come up here. Here it says, here it initializes everything was fine here. It tells you that everything is fine. Okay, it gives you all the folder name and the rest is started running. But at this point in time, it says unknown what? Thank you. This database is not known. The database is because we dropped it. Are we there? There's a unknown database. So now come up here. It says at MySQL. You see, we set this JDBC at the property application property here. Can you see it here? This is MySQL. This is what we call connection URL. We're going to discuss this. Connection URL, connection string, they are all same. The string of connection and the connection URL. What we do? What are you connecting? What database are you connecting to? MySQL. With what kind of connection, or with what kind of driver for the JDBC driver? The driver is JDBC because it's not only JDBC equal. Then it is a local host, then the name of the DB. And then this DB wasn't created, so it has to give you problem. This is the username, this is the password for development. And then these are other things stated for the JDBC and SQL, whether it shows or not. We'll discuss that later. So, now where we? So here now. So it tells you something happens here, and then what pops up this problem is the JDBC exception. You know, when we were doing ours, you have to do this yourself. You need to put try catch, a very big try catch that catch this for you. Of course, you need to do something like this. You need to create something like, let me just do it somewhere where I can You need to do something like this, try catch. But the dependency does all this for you. You see try, then you do catch. You do something like exception here. Then you call the exception, you call the exception, what do you call exception object. Then you now say finally. Alright, then you write your finally. So you write everything here and then you run. So you accept, but only these lines in the application property, only here, does all that for you. That's why using framework, actually leveraging on frameworks, gives you kind of simplicity in your development, even though some don't want to use it. So when we were using prime faces JSF, we've been writing code, boiler codes and all this, and now it is being simplified. That's very good, and I think for this we have seen the problem, right? Let's quickly correct it, and of course I attached Hikari 5 point something. Please forget about this. We discuss Hikari later because it's a very advanced something. A connection code that uses proxy things, and so all this problem, this comes from the Hibernate, because Hibernate wanted to work with the Hikari, with the connection, and it fails. That's why I told you that you should start reading from there. So let me clear all this. Let's create the database again and run it again and see what will happen. Create database, created. Let me clear here also. Do this, it's used. Check if exactly it does. So now run our application for the second time. Run it. Start running. Yes. So please look up. Look up. Look up, please. Look up. No error. Are we there? Yes. So one more view.